But this is a real fun bit. This is when you take all of that information that you've gathered. You've got a clearer idea where you're heading. You kind of know who your ideal client is. You get how you fit into other people's pictures and the gift that you are and the gift that you bring and the contribution you can make. So I'd like to show you how to feng shui your treatment room, and you can do this even if you set your treatment room up in your sitting room, or even if you rent a treatment room, you can still have things that you take each time you go if you'd like to do it that way. But what that does is it helps to focus the intention. So it takes everything you've learned so far and then you're going to channel it in to your surroundings so that that has a direct effect on you. Imagine this is your treatment room. This is a floor plan of your treatment room from a bird's eye view. Now, the very first thing I'd say is there's some layout here that needs to be addressed. The way the person will come in, your client will come in and then they're like, where am I meant to go? And one of you will be going all the way over here and one of you will be going here, and then there's quite a big distance between you and your client for the consultation part, if the type of sessions you do with a treatment table. So it's a little bit intimidating because they're walking in, they're immediately seeing this big treatment table. It's like, what's going to happen? They don't know. They've maybe never been for a session before. And so what you want to do is just have a rethink of that. So what I've done here is this would be the equivalent of what I would do with a room like that. It's the same room and it's got the same furniture, but what's happening here is your client is walking in and immediately is at ease. There's a definite area that it's very clear who sits where. So you would maybe walk in and sit here and motion to them to sit there. And you're putting them at ease by doing that because it's very clear what they're to do. You can see the hesitation the client has walking into here compared to here. It's like navigating the room, walking all the way over here. And because it's a relationship that you're building, you want to make it as comfortable and as easy to flow as possible. So I've put these chairs opposite each other. You might want them, slightly off so you're not kind of, eyeballing each other completely. And then I've put the desk behind here so that you could have all your notes and things or whatever you use, and you would just have a little clipboard on your lap. And then when it's time to go over to the treatment table, it's like a very definite separate place. And what this does as well is it leaves the center of the room empty, and ideally in feng shui you want the center of the room empty. Now this way here we've got the table is sitting in the center of the room. So sometimes that happens, that's fine, and it's actually quite appropriate because the center of the room relates to health and well-being and you've got your treatment table in there. But always the center, it's ideal if it can be able to kind of leave that space for energy to flow. So in the same way that your body has energy flowing through it, so does the buildings that you're working in, your home, any building that you're in. And you'll probably be spending quite a bit of time in your treatment room because you're going to be really busy seeing clients, right? So you want it to be as welcoming as possible. So that's the first thing I wanted to say just about layout. So you're going to need a compass. Now if you don't have a compass, you can use your phone. The only thing is, of course, if you use your phone and you're using the compass, you might not be able to watch what I'm saying or hear what I'm saying. So if you've got one of these, that works fine, or just have this on a laptop somewhere and you can follow along with your phone, because your phone might have an app on it with a compass, which is ideal. What you're going to do is you stand in the middle, which is probably where your treatment table is, and you're just going to keep turning round in the room until the compass points to north. And it should say, if it's a phone, it will say 0. So when you found your north area, that's the north direction in your treatment room, then that's going to give you your bearings. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now if you look below, there's this feng shui life map. I'm going to show you how to lock your intention in to bring those clients to you, just as you heard in the audio when you were doing the visualization for your clients to come to you. So this is going to bring it into that physical form. Do you remember in the template where I showed you that we come from the environmental and the mental and the emotional into the physical, and it becomes really powerful. So you're going to be pulling this down into the physical, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, Feng Shui is working on the environmental level, so it's affecting your surroundings, and that has an effect on your circumstances. The next thing I want to say is that what you're going to be doing is the equivalent of laying this life map, which you've got underneath this video, and you're the equivalent of laying this onto a plan of the room. And what's happening there is all the energies are coming in from the different areas, and this is an ancient method. So for many years it's been studied by the masters of what the energy does. So what is the quality of what comes in, and that's why the center, you want it to be clear, because you want the energy to have room to kind of flow. So each of these, I call them little cake slices, relates to an aspect of life. And what we're going to do for this particular video is we're going to look at your reputation, your career, and your wealth, because those are 3 life areas that are really important for your business. Now, the very first thing you're going to do is stand in the middle of your room. I've got the other plan, which has got the nicer layout, which will flow much better. It's much more comfortable to be in. And for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to say that this is north here. So you're standing in the middle of the room, and this is where the 0 is on your phone or on your compass. All right? And so where 0 is where north is. All right? Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to divide the room up. So you're going to draw a circle in the middle, which is relating to your health and well-being, just like on that Feng Shui map. You can see it below. Okay, and then you're going to just roughly divide the room into, it's actually 45 degrees. Each section is 45 degrees. So that's your north area. There's your south area. Okay, and then we're going to do, there's your east area. Okay, and there's your west area. All right, and so the areas you're going to be looking at are this area here, which is the north, this area here, which is the south, which is to do with your reputation. Okay, and this area here, which is southeast, which relates to your wealth. So we've got the south, southeast, and the north. So wherever the north is in your room, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, then you want to come opposite to where the north is, and that relates to your reputation. And then to the left, to the side, is the southeast, and that relates to your wealth. So in the cake slice of your treatment room that relates to the north, that's your career area. What you want to do is put something there that's to do with water, because water always knows where it's going. When you watch water, it's kind of heading somewhere. And we want to get that sense with your career that it's heading somewhere, that you're really going places. And the opposite cake slice to your career area, your north career area, is your south, and that is your reputation. That's an ideal place for you to have your certificates, to show that you're a professional in your field, and just to give some reassurance to your clients that you know what you're doing. And then in the number 4 area, the southeast, that's your wealth and good fortune area, and that's an ideal area for you to place a plant if you've got one. And quite often treatment rooms do have plants, and you can see how having a picture of water, having your certificates up, and having a plant in the room, it's not going to look like it's been feng shuied, but you're actually doing that with intention. So when you place those things there, you're really clear. As you put this picture of water up that you love, you put that in the north area, and you're saying, okay, this is me really going places in my career. I'm moving forward now, and great things are coming, great things are happening now. Because this is the element that we need in the north area to stimulate the way the energy is in the north. So the south area, where you're putting your certificates, again, you're bringing into the physical form. This is what I want to be known for. I want to be known for what I do. I want people to know I'm a professional. I want people to believe in what it is that I'm doing, because I've done my training and I know what I'm doing, and I know I can help people, and I want them to pick up that vibe. So by having the certificates in the south area, you really strengthen that intention on a physical level. So in the southeast area area in the wealth area where you're going to have a plant, the ideal is of course a money tree. It doesn't matter what kind of plant, but it needs to be an upward rising plant. Like a peace lily is a really good one because they're quite big and they're not expensive either, and they look really lovely in a treatment room. And the reason for that is because the southeast is to do with the wood element, and you want that sense of something growing. So just as you've got your career, you know, moving places, you've also got a sense that something is growing in your wealth area. So you wouldn't put it there because it's going to block the door. So we're just going to score that one out. But you might put it here. This might be quite a nice place. Might make it quite a nice cozy place for your client to sit. Or you might put it here if you see that the door is going to be clear of the door, and then you might put a plant here. You want to bring that idea of growth. And that's why we use a money tree in the southeast. So if you have a money tree, and if you'd like to have a money tree, that's the perfect place to put it. And I'll show you why. A money tree here. Okay, now the reason this is known as a money tree is it's a succulent, and what that means is that it absorbs all the water, and you want that sense of retaining in your wealth. So you've got the growth and you've got the retaining of the you're not just losing money, it's actually being held, and the little leaves kind of look like coins. And so that's why we use this well-known plant, which is known as the money tree. It's actually a jade tree, but it does get, it is particularly symbolic as well as being the right element for the southeast area to help to bring wealth into your life.